Hello, I am DJ Shiftee, 2009 DMC Champion of the World, and I'm here today to talk to you about the latest product from Native Instruments, the Kontrol X-1, which is the first totally dedicated Traktor controller. All of that stuff on its own is pretty impressive as far as functionality goes. But if we move on up and look at the top of the program here and also the top of the controller, what we have is something that really sets Traktor apart, which are these effects panels at the top. We have effects panel 1, where my mouse is going right now, and effects panel 2 on the right side. And you can actually have up to 4 effects panels at a time, but let's stick to 2 for now. We've just met. We don't really have a 4 effects relationship quite yet. And in each of these effects panels, you can either have a chained effects mode or an advanced effects mode. In the chained effects mode, you'll see these 3 little slots over here. And each of these you can choose an effect to put into the slot. See how many choices we have? Now on the KX1, each of these knobs controls one of the effects. So we'll see that when I move the top knob here, it changes the first effect. When I move the second knob, it changes the second, so on and so forth. And we also have a dry-wet control on top, and we have this for the 2 effects panels. So I move this knob, we see on the right side the dry-wet is changing, and the various knobs are changing as well. Now these knobs here are really nice because they sort of give you a true reading as to what's going on in the program. A lot of times when you're dealing with controllers, you're dealing with endless knobs where you have to turn and turn and turn, and you sort of have to either listen or look at the screen to know what percentage you've actually changed in the program. Here, we have a one-to-one correspondence between where we are with the knob and what's going on in the program. So when I move the dry-wet, it actually ends here, and I know that I have it all the way. When it's here, when it's up at top, there's a click, and I know I'm at exactly 50%. So this really is the perfect way to interact with effects in Traktor. What we have below our loading area here are these keys which tell us which effects panels are applying to which decks. If I push the button and the light goes bright, that means that effects panel 1 is working on the left deck, but we could actually have both effects panels on deck A. We could have both effects panels working on both decks. We could have them as 1 and 1. It's really whatever you want, and turning them on is as simple as hitting a button. So let's try this with the chained mode. I'm going to load in this track, Top Billin'. I'm going to jump to my 3rd cue point. I'm going to turn my loop on, and let's hear what we're working with right now.
Step up if you want to get hurt. Step up if you want to get hurt.
And what I'm going to do
if
is
you want to get hurt.
I'm actually going to go through and turn on the effects one by one so we can hear how the sound gets changed. If we look here in this chain mode, it's called chain for a reason, in that there's actually a signal flow from one effect to the next. So if we look at the sound like a bunch of water, the water comes through. It comes through effects panel 1. It goes through the first effect and it's changed. Then it's sent through the second effect, sent through the third effect, and there's sort of an order of operations here. And when you have both effects panels applying, it actually gets sent back through the second effects panel as well. So the sound is actually going through, right now what we're going to do is put it through 6 different effects, each of which we can manipulate in real time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn both effects panels on. We're going to get our step up if you want to get hurt.
Step up if you want to get hurt.
The dry wets both at 100%.
Step up if you
and let's give it a try. We'll go one by one.
Want to get hurt. Step up if you 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 want to get hurt. Step Step up if you wanna get hurt. Step up if you wanna get hurt. Step up if you wanna get hurt.
play that one more time. This is what it started as.
Step up if you want to get
And this is
hurt.
what we changed
Step
it to. So that's pretty crazy. And that's just one example. I pretty much just picked 6 effects, I threw them in there, and then I messed around. But with time and practice, you can really get some cool effects coming out of this. Let's jump ahead to the advanced section. To change, I go to my preferences icon, and I go to the effects section, and I go from chained to advanced. Now we sort of have a different layout here. Now we have an on-off next to the dry-wet, and now we only can use one effect at a time, but what we have here are different parameters and also different options on the buttons to change the sound. So let's scroll through and find an effect. I'm going to go for a delay. We're going to stick with that same sample. So to scroll through, I just hit Shift and then tap the on-off switch next to the dry-wet, and it'll actually scroll through the different effects. And let's find ourselves a delay. There we go. So I play the sound.
Step up if you want to get
And the layout here is kind of different now. We have an on-off next to the dry-wet, and this will turn on or off our whole effect. And now the knobs here represent changing different parameters. In addition, the buttons are no longer on-off buttons, but they will give us different effects. In the case of the delay, we have a reset, a freeze, and I guess a spread. And we'll see what those different things do. So let's turn it on.
Step up if you want to get hurt. 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 Step 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 up if you 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 want to.
So combine this with the fact that you can have multiple effects panels operating on the same deck at the same time, and that you can have 4 effects panels going at a time, and you can really get intricate combinations of advanced and chained effects working together. We covered some of the basic functionality of the KX1. I hope that you've gotten some sort of a sense that DJing and using Traktor is just so much easier with this. Whether it be manipulating effect with just moving a knob, setting a loop and changing it by hitting a button and turning, setting and triggering a cue point, the way that you interact with your music and the way that you interact with the program is just much more natural and takes you away from the TV DJing back to sort of a more interactive style of DJing. DJ Shiftee, signing off.